In this video, I'm gonna discuss if you should scale your agency and models horizontally or vertically. I'm gonna tell you the differences between both and explain which one is better in my opinion. Let's get right into it. So scaling horizontally. When you scale horizontally, you're gonna want to sign as many models as you can, so 10 plus, 50 plus, however many you can get. So your plan is just to keep signing more and more. So you sign your model's friends, her acquaintances, her sister, anyone you can find, So how do you grow with scaling horizontally? You share traffic between the models. So you have to share traffic because growing each one individually, each model individually is impossible, as you can't manage a dozen models confidently and give each one of them the attention and the management they deserve. So your main means of traffic will be share for share. So you're gonna want to do collabs between models and market them on each other's OnlyFans. So you say like, hey, this is my friend, go subscribe to her OF. So you just share traffic between accounts. And it's a management and a logistical nightmare because it is extremely inefficient to try and manage many models at the same time. Like, it makes it really easy to win when you only have one thing to do. And scaling horizontally doesn't allow you to follow that rule. And I will expand on that a little bit later. But let's continue with this. Also, no trust or integrity or long-term plan. You aren't building any report with your models, and each model is just a number when you scale horizontally. There is no connection building. So they aren't attached to you in any way, and that is just not the right way to do business. Because each model is just a number, and so you make a little money on a lot of accounts. And now a lot of people like to think this way, and it's a very flawed way of thinking. And that's, if I scale 100 models to 1K a month, that's 100K a month. I'm gonna expand on that a little bit later in the video. Another thing is models are stagnant. They can't grow confidently with your agency, as each model isn't given enough attention. And it isn't scalable. And I mean kinda by that. So let me explain what I mean. When you scale horizontally, it's usually good to have the models on like a retainer or a wage because it makes sense when having a lot of models, and what you just require of them is just a couple of sexual photos, and you don't do any social media marketing because models are probably gonna leave after a few months. You just do share for share with your existing models and funnel the existing subs to your models. And because of the reasons mentioned, it is not sustainable long term. Now let's take a look at scaling vertically. You scale fewer models, so 1, 2, or 3, and it's a lot more scalable. Why? Because you have more control over your model's traffic. You can build rapport and integrity with your models. You make a lot of money on a few accounts. Also, you build their brand, and when you scale vertically, you have space for growing. So having just a few models allows you to build their brands, which will result in a lot more profit long term. And the models thrive and grow with you, because OnlyFans growth has a compound effect. When you start out, it's usually slow and not as many people will know about you unless you had a brand before that. So unless you're a model that had 100K followers on Instagram, you're gonna be growing slowly. And it's a lot harder to grow from from 0 to 1,000 followers than 1,000 to 5,000 followers, because the more you grow your socials, the faster they grow. It's a compound effect. So since growing on OnlyFans follows a compound effect rule, you should aim for doing it long term. And with a few models, you can actually do that and build a rapport with your models for months and build trust and integrity and work together to create something big instead of just signing a new model every week and then have them leave in 2 months. It's just not a viable method. So which one should you choose? Scaling vertically is the way to go for most agencies, because don't fool yourself. At the end of the day, OnlyFans is a business, and scaling horizontally isn't a viable business strategy. Like in a business model like OFM, it can work like all things, but it isn't viable for the long term. It is just a question of time until it collapses. Because as I mentioned before, if I scale 100 models to 1K a month, that's gonna be 100K a month. You will fail if you think like that. With horizontal scaling, you are always chasing, and that's the issue. You should thrive to build something sustainable and long-term. Let me give you an example to drive this home for you. So will you go to the gym for years, working out each part of your body slowly with a few days break in between each muscle group, or will you just go to the gym for 10 hours a day and overwork every muscle until you can barely walk because you're gonna grow quicker if you work out more? No, the goal should be to be sustainable and do the actions on a long enough time frame. Not just go to the gym every day and work out for 10 hours. You're not gonna grow like that. And that's exactly how you're gonna feel if you try to scale horizontally. It's just a logistical nightmare. Because, again, as I mentioned earlier, it makes it really easy to win when you only have one thing to do. You wake up, you know what you have to do to make more money, and you do it. You attack that issue with a pure onslaught of attacks fueled with pure determination and power. That's how you grow and progress in business. And when you have a dozen models, you will lose focus. And focus is how I like to define it, is saying no to everything that is not what you said you would do. So you will have to keep breaking that rule if you have a lot of models because you can't give proper attention to all of them. So focus on a select few models and focus on growing them. That is all. I'll see you in the next video.